Do you remember the lovable faces that shaped our favorite childhood movies? We watched them grow up on screen, but when the cameras stopped rolling, time changed them in ways you could never have imagined. Today, we're going to take a trip down memory lane to revisit 15 child stars who have undergone such dramatic transformations that they are almost unrecognizable. From shocking, successful puberty moments to complete lifestyle changes, the before and after images will leave you stunned. But first, I have a quick question. Do you agree that growing up under the harsh spotlight is the toughest challenge for a child? If you agree, type 1 in the comments. If you think it's just part of the job, type 0. Now sit back, enjoy the video, and don't forget to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to support the channel. Aaron Carter. In the bright pop scene of the late 1990s, when the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears were dominating the charts, Aaron Carter suddenly emerged as a breath of fresh air, a true teen sensation. With his blonde hair, bright eyes, and carefree style, Aaron brought a youthful vibe that young audiences of that time couldn't resist. Songs like I Want Candy and Aaron's Party Come Get It echoed not only in malls, schoolyards, and children's programs, but also became a part of the childhood memories for an entire generation. Aaron began singing at the age of 7, an age when most kids are still playing with Legos or watching cartoons. By the time he was 9, he released his debut album, making the name Aaron Carter a symbol of rapid success. Growing up in a family with a musical background, with his older brother Nick Carter being a famous member of the Backstreet Boys, only added to the public's attention on the young boy. But along with that bright spotlight came an invisible pressure. The enormous pressure that Aaron's childhood had to sacrifice in order to live under the stage lights. Over time, as the spotlight dimmed, Aaron's life began to take a darker turn. Family conflicts, financial issues, the pressure to maintain his image combined with growing up in the public eye made him more vulnerable than many other artists. Aaron later openly shared that he had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and severe anxiety, conditions that led him through many long periods of instability. At the same time, he struggled with substance abuse, using it as a misguided way to numb his emotional pain. His physical health declined noticeably over the years. New images of Aaron made it hard for many to recognize the shining boy he once was. His face became gaunt and angular, his skin fragile and aging rapidly. His teeth weakened and chipped due to the effects of poor health. This transformation not only broke the hearts of fans, but also reflected the brutal battle he had been fighting, a battle without a fairy tale ending. The tragedy ultimately struck in November 2022, when Aaron Carter was found dead at his home in California at the age of 34. The coroner's report confirmed that he died from drowning after inhaling difluorothane and using alprazolam, a generic form of Xanax. It was an unexpected ending, but not entirely unpredictable, as Aaron had repeatedly voiced his struggles with mental health issues that were slowly wearing him down over the years. When the news broke, the entire entertainment industry, from colleagues and fans to family, was engulfed in deep sorrow. Nick Carter. Aaron's older brother tearfully admitted that despite his best efforts to be there for his brother, there were battles that outsiders could never fully understand or save him from. Aaron Carter's story serves as a heartbreaking cautionary tale about the darker side of fame, especially for artists who enter the entertainment industry at such a young age. The spotlight may mask the deep cracks in one's soul, but it doesn't erase them. And when fame comes too quickly, the wounds can arrive earlier and run deeper. Aaron's journey reminds us that mental health is just as important, if not more important, than success. No one, whether famous or ordinary, should have to fight alone. Understanding support and timely intervention can change a person's life. And sometimes the most valuable thing isn't the spotlight. It's the peace of mind. Lark Voorhees. With her role as Lisa Turtle in the iconic 1990s sitcom Saved by the Bell, Lark Voorhees quickly became a fashion icon at Bayside High and a representative face of youthful, sharp style on television. Lisa Turtle, with her vibrant fashion sense, bold personality, and witty intelligence, captivated a generation of young viewers. This character not only made Lark famous, but also became an inspiration for countless young people who admired her creative fashion style. That success catapulted her into the ranks of those expected to go further in the entertainment industry after the film became a cultural phenomenon. However, while many of her co-stars continued to achieve success, Lark's public appearances became increasingly sparse and marked by signs of instability. Fans still remembered the radiant and energetic Lark, but her new image in the following years left many struggling to recognize her. The noticeable changes in her appearance, from facial features and expressions to uneven skin tone, raised questions in the public's mind. Many speculated that she had undergone cosmetic procedures, but Lark herself confirmed that the changes were mostly due to her makeup choices and the mental struggles she had faced for a long time. In 2020, Lark Voorhees courageously spoke out about her mental health, revealing that she had been diagnosed with a thought disorder related to schizophrenia, a complex condition that combines symptoms of schizophrenia with emotional changes. This wasn't unfamiliar to those who had followed her journey, as her mother had previously shared that Lark had been struggling with bipolar disorder and psychological trauma from personal upheavals for many years. These quiet battles not only affected her mental health, but also manifested physically, causing her appearance to change over time. Despite this, Lark never completely disappeared. Although she stepped away from the spotlight for many years to focus on her health, she remained in touch with her fans and occasionally appeared to share her journey. The most significant milestone in her return was reprising her role as Lisa Turtle in the Saved by the Bell reboot. Her appearance was not just a gift to the audience, but also a testament to her inner strength. A woman who accepts challenges, overcomes prejudice, and keeps moving forward despite the difficulties. Currently, Lark Voorhees continues her journey of healing and balancing her life. While she doesn't appear often, each time she does, it shows the calmness and resilience of someone learning to live in harmony with her personal challenges. Longtime fans continue to hold deep respect for her, understanding that behind those changes lies a long journey full of effort and courage. Lark's story reminds us that mental health is just as important as appearance or career. Everyone has their own battles, and what matters most is empathy, support, and avoiding judgment. Resilience is not about never falling, but about getting back up after the hurt and continuing to live with self-respect and hope. When Edward Furlong stepped onto the big screen as the young John Connor in Terminator 2 Judgment Day in 1991, the world immediately knew that this 13-year-old boy was no ordinary child actor. His natural talent, sharp gaze, and rebellious attitude created an unforgettable teenage icon, making Furlong the face of 90s teen rebellion. That iconic role not only helped the film skyrocket at the box office, but also turned him into a global phenomenon overnight, a start that any young actor would dream of. Hollywood saw a bright future for Furlong, opportunities, accolades, and a slew of offers from top directors. However, rising to fame too quickly, and at such a young age, became a double-edged sword for a boy not yet mature enough to fully grasp the darker side of stardom. Without a solid foundation to cope with the pressures, the doors that opened for him also pushed him closer to dangerous temptations. As he entered adulthood, Furlong became caught in a spiral of instability, where isolation stress and the pressure of fame merged with unhealthy habits that began to take hold. For years, Furlong struggled with substance abuse, a reality that was publicly revealed in the media. His battles with heroin, methamphetamine, and cocaine led to repeated appearances in the headlines for legal issues, from family troubles to DUI arrests. These prolonged battles not only weakened his health, but also caused his once bright career to slowly fade. The most heartbreaking part was that this path transformed a promising actor into a cautionary tale of the harsh price of fame coming too soon. Furlong's appearance visibly reflected those years of struggle. From a young man with a bright smile, clear eyes, and a strong presence, he changed into a weathered individual with a puffy face, deteriorating skin, and an exhaustion that was unmistakable. Those scars were also evident in his teeth, which were severely damaged during the toughest times of his struggles, a sight that broke the hearts of his fans. However, in recent years, he has made efforts to undergo dental treatments and recovery to regain his health, a part of his journey to find balance and hope. What's truly admirable is that despite facing countless obstacles, Edward Furlong has never given up. He gradually re-engaged in his career, taking on a few smaller roles and openly sharing his recovery journey with rare honesty. The contrast between the image of the young John Connor, the boy destined to save humanity, and the nearly 50-year-old man now trying to save his own life creates one of the most poignant and thought-provoking stories in Hollywood. Furlong's story reminds us that talent and success cannot replace mental stability and a supportive, healthy environment. Fame coming too quickly can become a heavy burden, and sometimes the most important thing isn't shining in front of the public, but learning how to stand firm, heal, and rediscover oneself. It's a powerful reminder that everyone has the chance to start over, as long as they have the courage to face it and keep striving. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Amanda Bynes was a shining star on the Nickelodeon network, a true golden girl. With her natural charm, witty intelligence, and the upbeat energy of the girl next door, Bynes not only won the hearts of audiences, but also became one of the most influential stars of that generation. Shows like All That and The Amanda Show consistently ranked high, solidifying her special place in early 21st century youth culture. Riding on that wave of success, Bynes ventured into film landing leading roles in What a Girl Wants, She's the Man, and Hairspray, quickly becoming a promising star in the teen romantic comedy genre. To the public, she seemed destined to become one of Hollywood's top comedy actresses. However, that bright spotlight didn't last. Around 2013, fans were shocked when Amanda fell into a mental health crisis that the world witnessed through social media. Her Twitter feed was filled with bizarre, uncontrolled posts, sometimes so incomprehensible they became the subject of widespread controversy. In real life, her behavior became increasingly erratic, including an arrest for driving under the influence and an incident where she accidentally caused a fire on a stranger's porch. All of this made the public realize that behind the stage lights there was a soul slowly falling apart. Not long after the situation was clarified, when Bynes was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She also admitted to having struggled with substance abuse, including a dependence on Adderall. These ongoing pressures not only took a toll on her mental health, but also left a clear mark on her appearance, fluctuating weight speculation about cosmetic procedures, and visible tattoos on her face, which she openly shared. These images became a focal point for the media, making her personal battle even more difficult to navigate. In response to the situation in 2013, Amanda Bynes was placed under the legal guardianship of her parents, a measure intended to help her stabilize her life. The guardianship lasted nearly a decade, during which she gradually stepped away from Hollywood to focus on her recovery. When the guardianship ended in 2022, Bynes began rebuilding her life on her own terms, prioritizing inner peace and mental health over returning to the spotlight. Recent images show her leading a calmer, more settled life, and it appears she is slowly rediscovering herself after years of turbulence. Amanda Bynes' journey is a profound reminder of the darker side of growing up in the public eye and the immense pressure young stars often face. Without the right support at the right time, even the brightest talents can be overwhelmed by fame and expectations. Do you agree? If yes, leave a 1. If not fully, leave a 0. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us. Now let's keep watching for what's next. Taylor Momsen's transformation is considered one of the most striking reinventions in 21st century pop culture. From a sweet young girl on the big screen to a bold rock singer, Momsen's journey is a testament to how an artist can redefine themselves in a proactive and daring way. Audiences first got to know her through the role of Cindy Lou Who in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. A little girl with wide eyes, a gentle smile, and the innocent glow of a true Hollywood child star. No one could have predicted that the sweet little girl would later become the heart and soul of a fierce rock band. At that time, many thought Momsen would continue to stick to family films or cute child roles. But by her teenage years, she made a bold new mark with the role of Jenny Humphrey in Gossip Girl. Her character started as a dreamy girl from Brooklyn, striving to be accepted in the elite Manhattan social scene. Over time, Jenny became more rebellious, sharp, and edgy, mirroring Momsen's own feelings and desires for change in real life. This was the period when Momsen began to show her conflict with the sweet image the public had placed on her since childhood. Eventually, she realized that acting was not the path she wanted to pursue long-term. She walked away from Hollywood at the height of her career to follow her true passion, music. In 2009, she formed the hard rock band The Pretty Reckless, where she found the truest version of herself. From the girl next door, Momsen emerged before the public with a strikingly opposite style: heavy rock-inspired makeup, smudged smoky eyes, dark lipstick, leather jackets, combat boots, and a strong, commanding presence on stage. This transformation wasn't just about her appearance. It was a liberation of her soul. She officially stepped out from the shadow of her child star image and carved out her own identity as an independent artist. What's noteworthy is that Momsen's transformation didn't come from scandals or personal breakdowns, but rather from a conscious decision. She once shared that she wanted the freedom to create and to be seen as a true musician, not just the little Cindy Lou who grown up. Thus, the dramatic change in her style and image was her way of asserting autonomy in her career. It's easy to see that the Momsen of today, with her mature, bold, and distinctive look, is almost unrecognizable from the pure image she once had. However, it wasn't a loss. It was a form of self-actualization. It was a journey to reclaim her own voice in an art world full of pressure and stereotypes. Today, Momsen is known as the powerful lead vocalist of The Pretty Reckless, a band that has achieved significant success in the rock scene. While the public may be surprised by the contrast between her past and present for Momsen, it's a very natural journey, one she had to choose for herself and pay the price for in order to become the person she believes she was meant to be. Taylor Momsen's journey shows that no one has to live forever under the expectations of others. Sometimes the greatest courage is in daring to redefine yourself, even if it means becoming completely different from the image the world once knew. Maturity isn't about changing to please others, but about living authentically with yourself. When it comes to the greatest child stars of the 1990s, Macaulay Culkin almost always tops the list. His role as Kevin McAllister in the Home Alone series not only made him a familiar face during the holiday season worldwide, but also turned Culkin into a pop culture icon that no other child star in Hollywood could match at the time. With his sharp features, bright eyes, and natural acting ability rarely seen in a child, Culkin reached a level of fame that many adult actors could only dream of. However, behind those sparkling lights is a tumultuous journey that few audiences fully know. As he entered his teenage years, the overwhelming fame and family conflicts began to weigh heavily on Culkin. His parents had intense disputes, especially over the management and massive income he generated. Legal issues and the pressure from the image of being the world's #1 child star caused Culkin to burn out early. By the mid-1990s, he decided to step back from Hollywood, a surprising yet necessary decision for his own mental well-being. During this period of seclusion, paparazzi photos of Culkin showing him looking thin and exhausted led to widespread speculation about drug use. Although Culkin repeatedly denied these rumors, his altered appearance worried the public, leading many to believe that the boy they once knew as Kevin was gone for good. But time proved otherwise. In the following years, Culkin began rebuilding his life by choosing to step away from the Hollywood spotlight, distancing himself from the negative environment and focusing on his health and mental stability. His relationship with actress Brenda Song provided him with a solid and peaceful foundation, something Culkin had always lacked during his childhood. When he became a father, his life opened a completely new chapter, helping him redefine himself as a grown man, no longer the boy stuck in the image of Kevin McAllister. In recent years, Culkin has gradually re-emerged in the public eye in a calm and thoughtful manner. He didn't chase after blockbuster roles or try to regain his past fame. Instead, he chose to take part in projects he truly loved. He appeared on television shows, collaborated in music, occasionally acted, and maintained a composed, cheerful image, a stark contrast to the exhausted look in the photos that once circulated. Now at 44, Culkin looks healthier, more in control, and at peace than ever before. He was also recently honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a beautiful milestone proving that the life journey of a child star doesn't have to end in tragedy. Culkin's return is not based on fanfare, but on maturity. He no longer feels the need to prove anything to Hollywood because the most important thing is that he has found himself again after many years of turmoil. His story is not just a journey of recovery, but also a testament to the fact that a person can overcome the wounds of the past to live a more peaceful and meaningful life. Macaulay Culkin's journey shows that fame too early can leave deep, unpredictable scars, but perseverance, making the right choices, and being in a positive environment can help someone regain balance. More importantly, it's knowing when to step back to protect oneself. Sometimes the greatest success isn't standing in front of the camera, but finding simple happiness after the spotlight fades. Dustin Diamond. For millions of viewers who grew up in the 1990s, the name Dustin Diamond is almost synonymous with the character Samuel "Screech" Powers from Saved by the Bell. He was the comedic heart of the show, the quirky yet sincere friend who always brought laughter in tense moments. Screech wasn't just a role, he was a part of the childhood of an entire generation, and Diamond left a deep mark with his charm, naturalness, and rare talent. However, it was precisely the overwhelming impact of that character that became his greatest challenge as Diamond grew older. After Saved by the Bell ended, he faced many struggles in finding new roles, as the public only wanted to see him as Screech. The strong association with a single character made Diamond feel trapped in the past, unable to break free and step into more diverse roles. This led to considerable frustration and some ill-advised decisions in his attempt to rebuild his career. In his desire to escape the shadow of his old character, Diamond took on several controversial projects, which he later admitted were poor choices. He released the book Behind the Bell, which contained many shocking details about the behind-the-scenes life. Although many of the claims were later confirmed to be exaggerated or misleading, the book damaged his relationships with the former cast members. Additionally, he appeared on several reality TV shows, where his personal struggles were often showcased on screen in a very uncomfortable way. Legal troubles in the years that followed further complicated his public image. Yet after all the controversies, it's still possible to see in Dustin Diamond an artist who was trying to hold on to the career he had dedicated his youth to building. Even though he occasionally lost his way, he always found ways to keep contributing, whether in small projects or brief television appearances. That path was full of obstacles, but it also reflected the journey of someone who didn't give up, even when the world around him seemed to have turned the page. In early 2021, the greatest tragedy struck unexpectedly. Diamond was diagnosed with stage 4 small cell carcinoma, a rapidly progressing cancer that left him with very little time to prepare. Just a few weeks after receiving the diagnosis, Dustin Diamond passed away on February 1, 2021, at the age of 44. Hollywood was stunned, and even those colleagues who had once had conflicts with him sent heartfelt tributes to bid him farewell. Above all, they understood that he was the one who created a character that brought joy to millions of viewers for many years. Today, Dustin Diamond's legacy is multifaceted. He was a talented artist tied to an iconic role, a star who desperately tried to escape the shadow of his childhood success, and also a person with flaws but always striving to rise again. Dustin Diamond's journey reminds us that growing up under the image others expect of you can become an incredibly heavy burden. Everyone can make mistakes, especially when trying to find their place in a world that changes every day. The most important thing is understanding and recognizing that each person, whether successful or not, is fighting battles and dealing with pressures that others can never fully see. Angus T. Jones. Throughout the first 10 seasons of 2.5 Men, Angus T. Jones was the youthful heart of the show. As Jake Harper, the naive yet surprisingly smart boy Angus not only brought laughter, but also became the symbol of this sitcom. Audiences watched him grow up on screen from a small child into a familiar teenager in American households. That special charm made Angus the highest-paid child actor in television history, a rare achievement for any young artist. But at the peak of his fame, Angus embarked on a completely different inner journey. In 2012, after being baptized and joining the Seventh-day Adventist Church, he began to feel that his newfound faith conflicted with the adult-themed content of the show. The tension reached its peak when Angus appeared in a viral video where he openly expressed his disagreement with the program, even encouraging viewers not to watch it anymore. This was a shocking statement, as he was criticizing the very show that had catapulted him to the heights of wealth and fame. That move immediately rocked Hollywood and became one of the most controversial moments in the history of American television. Not only did his mindset change, but Angus's appearance also underwent a dramatic transformation. After leaving the show, he almost disappeared from public events. Angus gave up the clean-cut, polished image of a child star, opting instead for a long beard and a quieter, more private life. Rare photos from this period show a man vastly different from the boy Jake Harper that audiences had once known. For many, that transformation symbolized his desire to shed the pressure, scrutiny, and relentless expectations from Hollywood, a way for Angus to protect the peace he had always sought. Today, Angus T. Jones rarely appears in public. He chose a completely different path, attending college, working behind the scenes in film production, living a simple life, and focusing on his personal life. He has shared that he is happier without being under the constant gaze of the media. Giving up the spotlight, something many young artists dream of, to choose a quiet and private life, makes Angus's story one of the rarest cases in Hollywood history. Angus T. Jones is a prime example that success doesn't always come with happiness. Despite once having massive earnings and global fame, he chose to step back in search of balance and to live according to his personal values. Looking back on his journey, one doesn't see failure, but growth, a young man who knew what he needed and had the courage to pursue it. Their stories show that mental health should always be a priority. Seeking help and giving yourself time to heal is not a sign of weakness, but of courage and maturity. Do you agree? If yes, leave a 1. If not completely sure, leave a 0. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, and hit sub to support us.